it going today? So we're going to be talking about old tires versus new tires. What are the differences? And is there a difference between, you know, old expensive tires and new cheap tires, right? Which one would be better? What's going on up here? Something interesting. Oh, he's getting towed. Guys, so we're back here on some back roads, and it's kind of a talk up for a couple minutes about old used up tires versus new ones, right? And does price matter? So if you've got an old tire that's like an expensive tire, right, and it's like, let's say, below half life, and you don't have a lot of money, but you know you got new tires. This is always a trash corner here. Oh, I guess it's not bad. Someone cleaned it up. So sometimes there's tons of gravel in that corner. So I've got new tires on this bike. These are a set of, I believe they're Dunlop Sportmaxes, which are not an expensive tire. I think I got them on sale or on clearance from Dennis Kirk, and I like getting a lot of my tires from there. But if you have a local guy who can give you good deals too, you should go that route. I have a local guy here if anybody's in the this Toma area in the kind of middle of Wisconsin. Leisure Time Sports. It used to be a dealership, but now it's run by Brad, and he does an excellent job. His prices are just as good as the online places like Dennis Kirk, and he'll install them for you. You take your wheels off like $50 a tire, so he'll do it the same day. Pretty awesome. So I get a lot of my stuff from him, but online wise, Dennis Kirk is good online. If you don't have a local dealer nearby that can give you good deals. So we got a really tight corner come up here. Yeah, I forget which one of these are. Some of these are real gravelly. Yeah, this is the one here. I got it mixed up last time, but. Shame those corners have so much gravel because it's good pavement. Anyway, so I've got an old set of Bridgestone Battleaxes on my CB1000R, and they're like BT16 Hypersport Pros, at least on the rear. That's what's on the rear, so I just checked it before I left. And these new tires, these new Dunlop Sportmaxes on this bike are so much better than riding on those old ones, especially once the rear starts getting, you know, flat in the middle, because the previous owner commuted on that bike. I've had that bike for a few weeks now, but the previous owner commuted on it, and he really flattened out that rear tire, so it doesn't dip in and turn in properly like it should, not as quick as this bike. But even though those tires, I believe, unless I'm incorrect, someone can correct me in the comments, I think the BT16 Hypersport Pros are more expensive than these, like, you know, budget, like Sportmax tires. But these are so much better. Like, the grip is better. They're fresh too, you know. I mean, I put them on end of last season, but there's just no comparison. It's not even close. They dip in better, and it's not just the bike either. I mean, it's the tires. There is differences in how the bikes handle. I mean, this dips in a little slower than the CB1000R. I mentioned that on my one of my previous videos about the 4 things that I hate about the bike. I think I mentioned it, but it still dips in fine. But anyway, yeah, it's the tire character, the stickiness is so much. It's just so much better with new tires. So what I'm trying to say is, if you got tires that are getting down towards the wear bars, which those ones are on my CB1000R, those are starting to get down towards the wear bars, and they were when I bought it too, but now they're pretty. I mean, it's time now, and I'm actually going to get them changed tomorrow or the day after. I'm going to pull the tires off myself. I got some pit bull sands that came in. But so what I'm saying is, even if you don't have a lot of money for new tires for your motorcycle, whatever you're riding, you know, cruiser, sport bike, whatever. But this is especially applies if you're riding a sport bike and you want to get aggressive in the corners. Having a fresh set of tires makes all the difference in the world, because it's your only point of contact with the ground, right? It's the only thing that touches the ground. So that's what's going to make the most difference. If any mod, it'll baby rabbit back there. If any mod that you can put on your bike, what do you think is going to make the most difference? New exhaust? No. It's going to be tires, right? Because that's your point of contact. Or arguably, I guess, it could be your suspension components. That will make a big, that'll make a big difference too, because that's a huge part of your riding experience, is how the motorcycle handles over the over bumps and with road feel, right? But tires are huge, and it's something that's much cheaper to change out, usually, depending on what brand or what you're buying, than your suspension. Rear shock notwithstanding, because you can get those not too bad, depending on the brand you're going, unless you're going Öhlins. So yeah, go ahead and save up for, if you need to, save up for a couple weeks, and whatever you need to do to get yourself a set of tires. And you can get these Sportmaxes for, boy, what did I get them for? Was it around $200 for the pair? Maybe a little more. Maybe it was like $240 for the pair, something like that. I think they're on sale. But if you can find stuff. Look around a little bit, like Dennis Kirk or even Revzilla, or like, especially if you got a local dealer and maybe he's got some stuff on hand, you know, that's been sitting around, or something like that he wants to move. Don't get something that's been sitting around for too long, because tires still expire. You don't want something that's like 7-8 years old, even if it's not. So, I guess if it's been stored properly, you can take a risk and it's real cheap. But ideally, you want something that's been produced within the last couple of years, because tires, rubber can get hard, especially if it's stored improperly. It goes through a lot of heat cycles and such. Man, the quick shifter on this is so good. Taking a little right-hander here. So yeah, go ahead and save up your money and get yourself a new set of tires, and it'll give you a lot more confidence on the road. Even if your old tires, like, especially applies to people who you're buying a used bike, and the tires that come with the bike have been on there for, like, 5-6 years. Look at the date code around the side of the tire, and maybe I can put a shot in that, like some B footage of what that date code looks like, but you can look it up too. But yeah, you want, especially if your tires are 5-6 years old and they're starting to get hard, you can tell they're not that sticky when you're going through corners. Like, you feel kind of sketched out through corners, even when they're clean. It's time. Like, it's probably been time for a while. And then when you put the new tires on like this, or ride a bike with new tires, you'd be like, oh man, why was I wasting my time for whatever, that whole season, or those weeks or months or whatever, with those old tires that are hard, and I get sketched out through corners because of them, or maybe you're running a tire that's a distance tire, touring tire, so they're not that sticky anyway. But anyway, either way, even a new version of those would be better than a 5-year-old version, even if you're looking for a touring tire, because you're putting down big miles. I don't really put down big miles, but yeah, so go ahead and save up, get yourself a new set of tires if you need it, and believe me, you will thank yourself, because I know I've every time I've done it, I've been like, oh man, I'm glad I put a new set on. So even if it's a cheap clearance set, I've kind of changed my mind on this, I guess, recently. Even if it's a cheap set, a cheap new set from a decent brand like Dunlop or something is better than like an expensive set of Russell 3s or something that have been on the bike for 6 years and they're down below half tread. That's my opinion. That's my experience anyway. So if you guys have a different experience, though, feel free to leave a comment below, and let's talk about it, and let me know what you think, what your experience are with cheap versus expensive tires. I'm getting a new set of oh, that bird came close there. I'm getting a new set of Dunlop Mutants put on the CB1000R. That's what I was referencing earlier, and those were a pretty expensive set of tires, at least for me, because I usually go for stuff on sale. I think I paid up for those like $400 for the set. So we'll see how those compare to the current set that's on there, and that will be a separate video. But I've had Dunlop Mutants before on my R1150R BMW, which has actually been a popular video for the channel here. And those Dunlop Mutants, oh man, those were so good on that bike. They were like, there's a lot of gravel and stuff in my area on the roads, and like I live on a gravel road, so yeah, the Dunlop Mutants were just like, I can't tell you guys how good those were on that R1150R. So I got high hopes for the Mutants on the CB1000R Honda. But yeah, I'll report back on that as soon as I can. So I think we should end the video here. Once again, appreciate you guys. Hope you're doing well. And remember to like and subscribe and hit the buttons if you like the content. And the channel is growing. Praise the Lord. It is growing, and we're we're putting out content every week. So I'm aiming for every Monday at 2 p.m. is kind of when I'm aiming for content. Probably doing some shorts and such, you know, in between that time. But looks like we got a little, I thought it was going to be a decreasing radius curve, but it was not. All right, we will see you guys on the next one. Have a good one.